What's up, fight fans? Welcome to DFS Insights, where we break down every UFC card with our own predictive math model. Our math model is currently pushing 70% accuracy with over 650 fights worth of data and nearly 80% accuracy when you factor out fighters with less than 3 fights under their belt. So let's see what math has to say about this week's Fight Night card, Hill vs. Rountree. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, that notification bell so you don't miss these weekly predictive model predictions here. So with that being said, we got a 12 fight card, Hill versus Rountree. There's free fights. As you can see, 8 of the 12 fights have fighters that have under 3 fights worth of data. So with that being said, just keep those in mind when you're looking at the percentages here. So scrolling down, fights that I'd be interested in, to see. Obviously, you got the main event, Rountree versus Hill. Rountree being the favorite. Hill coming in at a whopping 79.14%, chance to win here. So that's going to be a fight I'm going to keep my eye on, being that he is the underdog. So I could find some value there. Now, whether that be from DraftKings, FanDuels, or if you're allowed to do, parlays or straight money line betting. So, and then scrolling down, as a lot of them, unfortunately, are the yellow fights, and that's what typically happens with these free fights. And by what I mean by that, if we go ahead and switch over here to the UFC stats.com page, this is where we get our data from, the Rountree here. So just kind of looking at, for example, we'll go down to the Curtis Blaze reason. It actually has Curtis Blaze as the favorite and Ryzen being like a 92% chance to win. But when you come here, look at the data, he only has 2 fights under his belt. So these data points here could be skewed, and then that's what's giving him the advantage. So with that being said, and sure, when you're looking at the percentage, with the yellow fighter, just make sure that you take that into consideration as well. So with that, just let me know. We are boasting currently roughly 70% accuracy on the fighters that are on total fights, 650 plus. We also are closer to 80% when we factor out these yellow fights. Now keep in mind that would only be 4 fights in this one, but when you get to the UFC main cards, there's a lot less fighters that typically have less than 3 fights worth of data. So using that, how do I determine who's the favorite underdog in this matchup? We go down here to, I currently use UFC Fight Odds. I think that, gives me a good understanding of that. So based on, what the money lines are for the fighters here, this is what the current money lines are for the fights for this Rountree. So if you like this, there's no bias, no commentary. This pure math percentages. That's what we're going for right now. Please drop down in the comment below what fighter you think has the best odds, and if you agree with those predictions. I'm going to drop down my favorite down in the comment. Let's get that conversation started. So again, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and see you next week.